Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week of Hyperfixated. As you can see, we didn't do an episode Saturday, mainly because, if you can't tell already, I lost my voice. I lost it on Friday, and it's still not fully back. It's somewhat back, so I figured I can at least do an episode like this. Um, this is mainly because Halloween's tomorrow. Well, this episode will be coming out tomorrow, so happy Halloween, all you Hyperfixated listeners. Um, Today's episode is going to be it's gonna be a little bit of a different one. Um, both of my co-hosts cannot make it to this episode, so what we're gonna do is we're going to I'm gonna have both of them record something separate and send it in. Um, we couldn't meet up because our schedules conflicted this week. Um, but essentially, we're doing a review on the Five Nights at Freddy's movie that we watched yesterday. So to get right into it, I've been watching I've been playing Five Nights at Freddy's since like the day the game came out. Um, I never got too far in the lore, and I kind of stopped. Well, I played this first one, second one, and third one. I never beat the second one or the third one, but I beat the first one. Um, I played a little bit of four, and I didn't play any of the ones after that until Security Breach, and I played a good bit of Security Breach. But watching the movie, of course, it's not going to be just like the game. If it was like the game, we'd be watching security footage for like 2 hours, Thrillsville. But I know they took some stuff from the book, and they took some stuff from the game too, and like intertwined both of them to make it like an actual movie. Um, in my opinion, the movie was really good. I enjoyed it. I don't know like all of the Five Nights at Freddy's lore, but I know like a good enough amount to where the movie it was I was able to make sense of the movie without having to like look everything up. Um, I think Matthew Lillard as William Afton was a really good choice. For those of you who haven't seen that yet, go ahead, pause right now, go through your spoiler alert, because if you haven't seen the movie, I don't want to ruin it for you. So, spoiler alert for everybody else who hasn't seen the movie yet. Um, Spoiler alert is now here. So, um, watching the movie, it was really good. I like the take on it. I don't like how the Rotten Tomatoes score was like a 23 because audience score is like a lot better. The reason why the Rotten Tomatoes score is that bad is I'm sure a lot of the people don't know the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's and just ranked it based off what they thought of the movie. But the people who like know the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's, I can tell we liked it a whole lot more. Um, the movie was really good. Uh, the kills were good. I wish it was rated R so it would have shown a bit more into like the spring lock stuff and like the bite of 87. It never talked about the bite of 87, but we made a joke where there's a part in the movie where this girl sees a ghost of one of the kids that William killed, and it's Freddy's ghost, and the kid lures her to Freddy. She climbs up a ladder, looks in the mouth, and like, the kid's arm grabs her, and then he bites like her torso off her leg, so it's like split her body in two. And then me and Chris both yelled, "Is that the bite of 87?" Like it obviously wasn't. The movie took place in like either the mid to late 90s or the early 2000s. I want to say it's like the mid to late 90s just because of the phones that I saw. They had a lot of the corded phones and everything. Um, but from what I was reading, they said Matthew Lillard signed a 3 film thing. So I think they're going to go through Five Nights at Freddy's 1, 2, and 3. Um, That'd be really cool to see that. I haven't played too much of Fnaf 2, so I need to watch more of the lore on that with Matt Pat. Speaking of Matt Pat, he was in the movie, which was really cool. And of course, he says his line, you know, some people that's just a theory, something like that. It was great. Um, the Mike's aunt's lawyer, his name was Doug, I think. Dude had me freaking rolling. He just had this face, like he was like all the time. It was so freaking funny. Um, if I had a favorite animatronic scene or something that I would have witnessed was it's probably the Golden Freddy. Like I realized it wasn't Freddy because it was missing an ear and an eye, and it was a little bit like a golder shade, and the eye that it did have was a different color. So I learned that one of the kids was Golden Freddy, and then we never got to see much of like what happened to Garrett. I know that William Afton killed Mike's little brother Garrett, but I don't know like what suit he could be possessing. Maybe like Balloon Boy or the Puppeteer or something like that. I don't know. We'll find out in the next movie, maybe, or the third one. I'm not sure. Um, I would say at first the part of the movie I didn't like at first was like when all of the animatronics were like just laying on the floor. They built a fort, but then you got to think like they're all possessed by these dead children, so naturally they're going to act like children. So when I realized that, I'm like, well, yeah, that actually makes sense. I'm not too worried about that, I guess. Um, it just seemed a lot different from the game, but this isn't the game. This is just a movie, so like that makes more sense because it's just a movie. Um, I would say like the best part of the movie, in my opinion, was whenever William Afton came out in the Springtrap suit, and it was raw. That was freaking sick. And then when it was revealed Vanessa was his daughter, that was like a turn. Because if I'm right, he had a son called his name was Michael Afton, and I don't remember his daughter's name, but she got put in the marionette suit or something like that, like the little girl suit, and I don't remember what happened with Michael. I think Michael had another son too, or something like that. I'm not sure, but I think like the icing on the cake was the spring lock scene whenever Chica's cupcake bit the hole in his suit, and then you see the spring locks going 1, 2, and 3, and then 1, 2, and 3, and his famous line of "I always come back," and then he put the mask on. Like that was freaking sick. One thing that like I really wish that like, they had certain game sound effects in there. Um, like if I'm right, I think there's that scene whenever Williams yelling, "Michael, don't leave me here, Michael, Michael." I think that's part of that. I'm not fully sure. I need to go more into detail with that, but it was some. The movie was very, very, very well made. Like you can tell that Scott Cawthon had a huge role to play in the movie because he made the games, so he had to partake in like the movie making as well. And the Jim Henson studio with the animatronics, that was really clean too. Like the animatronics looked like they do in the games. It was really cool. Foxy's animatronic was probably the best looking one. Like he was fuzzy. Um, he would like hum like sea shanties, and then he would be like dum 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 dum, and then he did the famous scream. He ran after some dude in the hallway and went. It was sick. Um, I would personally rank the movie like 10 out of 10. It was a different take than the games, and I'm sure if I read the books, it'd be more accurate to like the books. Because I hear from a lot of people who've read the books that it sounds it's like as accurate as the books with like a little bit of different changes just for like the movie in general. Um, so I'm just excited to see where they're going to take this. Besides like doing 1, 2, and 3, I'd like to see them do 4, so I can see like how they would like do the Nightmare Fredbear stuff like that, um, and like all the Nightmare variants of the animatronics. That'd be really clean. Um, not too much about like I don't know a lot about sister location and everything like that. But then like if they were to cut and do like a security breach one, that'd be really interesting too. Because then you could just hear him go, "Vanessa, have you ever heard of Among Us? Vanessa, you have to vent. Don't worry, you have to vent." Like that'd just be really freaking cool. Um, but yeah, so I will cut over to my co-hosts and I'll let you know what they have to think about the movie. But that's all I've got for this week. Um, I'm gonna cut to Austin and Chris after this.
What is up, you guys? It's Yellen Austin from Save Point Games here. Colby told me that I need to make a little recording of what I thought of the Fnaf movie. So, what do I think of the Fnaf movie? It was okay. It definitely was interesting. Got into the lore a little bit. I'm happy that they set up for a part 2. I was very confused by IGN's review of the movie. they said it should stick more to the game. It should stick more to the gameplay of like watching security cameras, and they gave it a 4. I was like, a 4? Like what? Like the critics' reviews of this thing was terrible, um, and it made no sense because I thought the movie was solid. You have scenes where you are watching cameras or whatever, right? So that's kind of still in there. But they also did it. No one, if you had the movie where you're sitting and just watching a camera for hours, right? No one's gonna watch it. No one's gonna watch a movie where you're just sitting and watching a camera of things moving around because it's just dumb. So I don't know. I thought the movie was solid. I love the way they laid it out. You obviously can tell they have a second movie coming out. Um, well, I guess what would my favorite part be? I don't know. My favorite part would be maybe just when the guys broke in and you just saw like the animatronics start moving and you saw like the you know he's the how brutal they can be. Um, and the ending was really good too when you finally meet William Afton and the spring locks close in. Good stuff. Um, what would I review the movie out of 10? I'd probably put it at like a solid movie. I'll probably put it like a 8, 8.5, somewhere in there. 8, 8.5. Um, yeah. So that's what I thought.
Hey guys, this is Chris from Hyperfixated Podcast, uh, and this is my recording of my reaction and my rating for the Fnaf movie. Sorry if I sound a little tired. I just got off work and I'm ready to go to bed. Anyway, so the movie overall, I really liked it. I feel like I don't know much about the lore and everything, but there's a little bit that I do know, and it kind of followed along with everything that I do know. So as far as that, as far as lore, like I said, as far as I know, I would have to say that's the movie in total. I'd probably give it about an 8.5 out of or 9 out of 10. Um, there's a little bit of a weird point in the movie, where the animatronics were tickling character. I don't know, that just seemed weird, but at the same time, it kind of, it's kids haunting animatronics. So I mean, I guess it's not weird. I don't know. It was just a little weird for me. Just, I don't know. It made it seem like they were attacking her, and of course, the big brother and everything comes in trying to protect his sister, and they're like, oh, they were tickling me so much I thought I was gonna die. That was a little cringe. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, overall, I would probably give it an 8.5 or a 9 out of 10. Um, Like I said, overall, I feel like the lore that I do know, it followed along with it. I'm not sure if there was other lore outside of what I know that it didn't follow along. I know a lot of people were saying they wanted it to go more like the game, but of course you don't want to watch a whole movie on someone literally looking at cameras, shutting doors, checking lights and everything, trying to conserve power. You don't want to see that. You want lore, you want something entertaining. Yeah, it's entertaining as a video game and watching your favorite YouTubers play it, but it's another thing to watch it as a movie in a movie theater when you're expecting to be entertained, you know? It's so I don't really agree with the fact that, it should have went more like the game, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, so that's my viewpoint on the FNAF movie. It's short and sweet. Uh, like I said, I'm ready to go to bed. So, anyway, so thank you guys for listening. And don't forget to check out the Starkey Experience on YouTube. A just a little advertisement right there. All right, well, I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
All right, guys. So now that my co-hosts have finished, this is the part that I was talking about. Like, I wish when he got spring locked, it would have played this.
Michael, don't leave me here. Michael,
That would have been like the cherry on top of the little. But the only problem is that like the only person he could either say that to was either Vanessa or like Mike. Because I don't. Mike's last name in this movie was Schmidt. I'm not sure if he actually is Michael Afton or not. I don't know if there is a Michael Afton in this universe. I know there's Vanessa Afton now, but regardless, I find that very intriguing. But yeah, so that's all we've got for this episode. Happy hyperfixated Halloween, and you guys have a great one. Enjoy your Halloween. Get candy, give out candy, etc. Be safe, of course, and you guys have a good one. We'll see you on the next one.